how can it be any better? You know?
And yet it will get better and better throughout the week. It is amazing. We're going to speak with Tony Stewart tomorrow, Erica Enders later in the week, talk a lot of NHRA drag racing, hearing from Gunther Steiner and Kyle Larson, Jimmy Johnson. We're really going around the globe as we typically do at this time of the year with the EPARTRADE Industry Week. But I am super excited about what Antron Brown did and frankly, the future of NHRA Mission Foods drag racing. We're going to delve into it with Antron. His fourth World Championship puts him in rarefied air amongst drivers around the world.
Absolutely. Good morning, Antron, and thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good. It's nice to have you on again. Thank you.
It feels good to be on. I'm with my co-part here. I got Wild Joe on here.
That's right. That's right. No, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. I love EPARTRADE Industry Week, Antron, because when we talk on WFO radio, everybody watching is a fan of drag racing. They're diehards. But on this venue, you've got sports car people from around the world, dirt track racers, and it's a great opportunity to showcase what's going on in NHRA Mission Foods drag racing, a sport that I love. But Tony Stewart has said it himself. It's its own bubble. It's its own world. And we don't want to pop the bubble, but we definitely want to expand it and showcase it to some other folks out there. So let's start off talking about this fourth World Championship and what it means to you as a driver and a team owner. You're first as a team owner. And I think Antron is frozen. At least it appears to be.
You froze.
Perhaps it is just on my. There you go.
Dude,
how about now?
Got you now?
You back?
Yes, I am.
You're back, baby. Did you hear my question? Fourth championship.
You talked about the fourth championship, then you cut off on me.
Well, that's it. Go into it. Talk a little bit about what it means to you as a driver and a team owner.
Well, one big thing for me is for one, it's a dream come true. Something that we kept our head down, and something I always wanted to do. And to do it for us, man. And we formed AB Motorsports. I formed it back in 2019, and we hit the track running with it in 2022. So it's been one of those deals where you go, all right, man, we've been with the monster, the big powerhouse with Don Schumacher Racing, and we won 3 championships there. And then to go out on our own to be a single car team. And this is all we do. We race. We work hard. We just work as hard as we do off the racetrack as we do on the racetrack to keep all of our partners happy and to make their business successful and to keep striving forward and to literally get here to this moment and to win a championship, which I will call one of the most competitive, super ultra competitive I think our sport has ever seen in Top Fuel. And to make it happen and get it done where we came in the final and you had no idea who was going to win the championship. Like Justin Ashley had the 40-point lead, but you had Doug Coletta still in the wings. Sean Langdon was still in the wings. I was there. Steve Tarrant had a shot. The top 6 cars had a shot on making this happen. Like Clay Milliken was there. Tony Schumacher was there. And Brittany Force was still in the picture. And to come out through all those names and to win the championship, man, it's mind-boggling, man. But it was a testament of never losing faith and putting everything in the right perspective and taking it one step at a time. And the Lord knows that we never gave up, and we gave it all we had. And at the end, we were standing there strong, man, standing there strong.
So as a 4-time champion and soon to be, and once again, the face of NHRA drag racing, as someone who has taken the plunge to be a team owner, and you laid it out for everybody. This is all you do. You do not have car dealerships, yet. Maybe the folks at Toyota can make that happen real soon. But what are the opportunities in NHRA drag racing, starting out as a team owner, and where do you see this sport now, and where is it going?
Well, one thing I can tell you for sure is that I put all my eggs in the NHRA Mission Food drag racing basket, Joe. And it's a reason why is because I see our sport really taking off and growing. I just see the whole sport of drag racing on every end of it. You know what I mean? just growing from the sportsman ranks all the way through to the, like, the RVW stuff, pro mod stuff, everywhere, the Drag Illustrated stuff, everywhere you look at it. I mean, the No Prep Kings, everywhere you look at drag races, everywhere. And people love it because they relate to it, because you can go to a drag strip no matter what you got and you can race it. And you're seeing it from the youngsters coming up to all the tuners with all the fuel injection to everything that you got. The sport right now has got so much interest and so much love, and you can see every walk of life coming to it. Even like Tony Stewart coming in from NASCAR. Like, you look at our sport, you got everything, man, going on right now. The Gary Pritchett story, like, the guy that was a clutch guy for all those years. I saw Gary when he first started at David Powers on Hot Rod Fuller's team. He was a young buck driving Bernie Burkett's car to look where he's at now. Like, he raced and won his first round of racing in a car, had an 028 light. I mean, good Lord. I mean, you're looking at all the storylines of everybody coming in the sport, and then you see the sport just really, really starting to launch and take off. It used to be like the best kept secret, but when I get on airplanes now, I got people sitting next to me, and they sit down next to me and go, "Hey man, how was your race last week?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, they know who I am, and they know who all the other people are. And it's mind-boggling to see our sport become just a normal sport you turn on TV that's in everybody's living rooms now.
NHRA on Fox has been a big part of that. They continue to grow their programming. And you referenced the Tony Stewart story. It depends on Tony has his own fans that have followed him from the dirt tracks to NASCAR to IndyCar, Eldora. They are fans of Tony, and we've seen many of them follow him to NHRA drag racing. Can you talk about what that story has meant to NHRA?
I think that story's been really, really huge, because you got somebody that has come, literally from the sport of NASCAR, you know what I mean? And to see Tony come up from where he's at, and come over, and not just come over and do it. The man came over and he fell in love with the sport. That's the difference. You know what I mean? Like, he literally came over and fell in love with our sport. And now this is all the man eats, sleeps, and breathes. You know what I mean? He's at every race event. And his dad is even getting into a sportsman car. Like, his dad wants to get drag racing now. His dad used to do circle track racing too. And it's just so cool when you see people come over and their whole demeanor changes, because they see how intense the sport is. They like the excitement of it, and they like how when people could show up with any kind of pass, a ticket, and they have all access right up into the pit, and they're in there cheering you on, and it just brings a smile to your face when you see other people fall in love with something that you fell in love with a long time ago, like myself. I fell in love with it ever since I was a kid.
Let's talk a little bit about the round track or road course racing, professional to drag racing. And it has been commented often, and I know that the highest level of any athlete, is not going to decry anybody, right? But like, they're just going straight, Antron. You're just going straight. Like, how hard could it be? And so this year, Tony got Rookie of the Year. We'll talk to him later in the week on EPARTRADE. But there's a lot more going on. Talk a little bit about that. Take some of our viewers into the cockpit of the race car. And, you're staging up finals in Pomona with a championship on the line, first round, against one of the best reaction time specialists in the business. A plane crashes at the top end of the racetrack in the pit area. We got very lucky that no one lost their life, but you had to deal with the emotions of that. You're not doing anything in that moment, and then you have to stage up and you have to win a world championship. Just talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening in the cockpit of the race car that you have to manage that maybe aren't similar to turning left and apexing a corner and hitting a braking point, but must be done perfectly if you're going to be successful.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, when we lined up there, Joe, of course, everybody knows Justin is really quick on a tree, and he's very consistent, very good. And but the thing about it is, I think a lot of people forgot that's what I always made my bread and butter on. A lot of people forget that You know what I mean? Like I leave all the time. You know what I mean? I've been doing it for years. But the thing about it is when you go up into a match like that, I'm going up there against a competitor that is he's the new kid on the block who's sharper than anything, man. His knife is sharp when it comes to that start line. And for me, I had to go back to my mindset of where I have to show up. I have to show up. And the only other thing is that we know how good that car is with Tommy D and with Mike. Mike Green over there is no joke. And we had to look at ourselves. We said we had to go out here, we had to put out a good lap, and we know we needed to run a high 60. And then we had to be on time on a tree. We had to keep the car in the groove because but a lot of people forget Pomona is a very tricky track to navigate. A lot of people leave that out the story. A lot of people don't never talk about it, say nothing about it. Pomona is a tricky track to navigate because it's an old school track. You know what I mean? So it's got its character. The track likes to pull you one way in one lane, likes to pull you the other way in one lane. You want to be on the outside, and you want to be on the inside. The other lane, you want to be here, then you want to go to the outside. So you gotta know how to navigate the lanes that you race, and then also you gotta know what lane you're going to be in because the sun influences it could be in your eye when you're in the left lane at one time of the day, and then it's not in the right lane. You know what I mean? So we had the right lane, but it's the time of the day the sun wasn't in none of our eyes, so we didn't have that going for us. And then when the plane crashed, you're already set, your mind's made up, you know what you want to do, and we're sitting in the water burnout. And that was the craziest thing for me where it just like stop, pause, timeout. It's like you're about to kick the game-winning field goal and somebody called a timeout. And we had to get out the race car. And we were like, all right, we might be here for about 30, 40 minutes. Didn't know the extent of it. And then they told us to go back to our pit because it's going to be a long time. We're just hoping then that nobody got hurt in that plane crash, which we know some people got hurt, but nobody lost their life. So that was a blessing right there for all of us that nobody lost their life. And then we got the call that we're going to go back to the straight lanes by 1 o'clock. And we got that call within it was like an hour away for to go up to the staging lane. So made some more adjustments. The track temperature got hotter. And they're going to prep the track before we go up there. So we knew all that. And then we're like, all right, now it was a reset. We had to get reset, get our mind back in that full focus mode to go back up there to do what we do. And when we went up there, I tell you one thing is that Justin was cool, calm, collective. I was cool, calm, collective, just like any veterans would be. Like, we're going into the final game. We're going to, and this is where it all counts. Everything was left on the line. And ours, the shot that we threw out, it was good enough to win. And we ran a high 69. He went a 70 flat, which were both really, really good runs. They could have beat a lot of other people that we would have raced that morning. And he was 45 on a tree, and we were 43. So we got him by a couple thou. Our main focus was that we just didn't want to leave nothing there. So they didn't gain no advantage there, and we didn't gain advantage there on the start line. And it was up to what the race cars were going to do down the racetrack. That's the best case scenario that we could ask for. And that's what happened.
Amazing. You go on to win the In-N-Out Burger Finals. You win the race, and you race Doug Coletta, the outgoing world champ, in the final round. There's something to be said about that. Antron, what do you think? And I just want to note, please Google the airplane crash at Pomona if you want to know more about the story. It's really amazing how people were able to walk away from that, and some injuries, but no fatalities, which is why we were able to continue racing later that day. But what do you think the secret sauce is, Antron? I hear a lot of other people talking about competitive, fair, equal playing fields in other sports. Like, how do we balance the competition and achieve parity? In NHRA Top Fuel and the Nitro ranks, just because you listed 7, 8 names that were in the championship running on the final day. What is the secret sauce? Why has NHRA done such a good job achieving parity? And now there are so many people that can contend all the way to the end for a world championship at the highest level. Like, everyone has figured out how to be fast, how to run well, and allow you guys, the drivers, to do your thing from the cockpit of the race car. Why is that?
I think what has happened is in our sport, I think across all sports and above, is that there's no more there's basically all of our parts and pieces have specs now. there's no more ingenuity. You know what I mean? Where before, I remember when I first came into Top Fuel, it was like an open box. You could do whatever you wanted to do. You could make different parts, different pieces. You could modify your manifolds. You could change your cylinder heads. Where they put a kibosh on that, where you have to operate in this box and you had to refine what you have. You can't come out with a new version of cylinder heads. One thing has helped the cost of the sport stay, just stay platform. You know what I mean? Where you don't have cylinder heads that are obsolete no more, where you got to buy these new versions. You don't have this where you got to do that. You know what I mean? And what it's done is it made all the crew chiefs catch up to one another, where you're running the same parts and pieces, where you got to really dial your stuff in. And when you go out there, that's how you can get a race where you have number 1 to number 16 qualifier under a 1/10 of a second. I remember when I came into sport, number 1 to number 4 will be within a 1/10 of a second. And number 5 could be 15 hundredths away. And the person that didn't qualify could be 2/10 away. You know what I mean? Like the number 16 qualifier would be 2/10. Now you can go up there and number 1 qualifier runs 69, and number 16 qualifier will go up there and they'll run a 77 or 78. I mean, the field is that tight now. So when you have that, I think you got more people doing their homework, more crew chiefs have grown up, like assistant people that are on the teams or assistant crew chief, car chiefs become crew chiefs under one umbrella and they separate. And you have more teams under other teams' umbrellas that have made the teams better. And I think that's why you have so much more parity and so much more competition. And now everybody makes a difference. Like the car has to be on point. The team has to be on point. The driver has to be on point. Like everybody has to be really, really good to make the outcome to win. And if you want to win multiple times, the team and everybody has to be in sync to make that happen.
Tony Stewart wasn't the first NASCAR guy to come over to NHRA drag racing. Rick Ware along board, Clay Milliken's team owner. But prior to that, Slugger Labby with Toyota, and you're a Toyota driver, and Toyota won their first Manufacturers Cup this year. People might not know how much Toyota and their engineering staff helps you. Can you talk a little bit about what Toyota brings to the table in drag racing, especially on a Top Fuel dragster, and how they helped you achieve your championship?
Well, Toyota, I've been with Toyota now my whole career since 2008. And all they have done is pour more and more knowledge and more technology out there on all kinds of different fronts. When we have part failures, they analyze them and could take them back and then tell us why it failed. If it was a material issue, machining issue, or just a standpoint the way it was designed, period. And they've helped us along the way, and also just on different stuff of structures, aero work, wing work, making our stuff cleaner and better, helping us not just from a car standpoint, but from a driver standpoint. They have a Toyota Performance Center in North Carolina where I can go to, and I have my own trainer. You can, on a diet, like they got nutritionists. They have a wellness center where they can make you well. They do blood work to make you perform as a top tier athlete. They have different training rooms. Oh, man, they do so much things from the human body perspective to the race car perspective to the engineering design perspective, performance to deal with our engine to help us make it more efficient, more powerful. They have given us the whole realm to make us the best that we can be as a team, period. And my hats are down, man, from David Wilson just retiring this year, the head of TRD, and then Slugger comes out and helps us out in a given deal. Our track analysts and specialists at the racetrack that tells us about the track surface, to weather, to parts nutrition, parts awareness. I mean, it's really unbelievable, man. It's like they are definitely like the code to success and to win championships. And that's why they have been so dominant in all the sports they've been into, because they study it and they keep going, brother, to keep evolving to make things better. Because when you think something is as best as it can be, it always can be better. And that's what Toyota does. They round all the edges. They put all the fillets where they need to be. and they make things right and they make it tight. And that's what's so awesome being part of the Toyota family, period. And without them, we wouldn't be where we're at for sure.
No, excellent to see them out there, and it's great to see all the manufacturers involved in NHRA drag racing. Let's talk a little bit about the future. You have won your 4th championship. Your longtime co-crew chief, Mark Oswald, who is a hero and a legend of the sport, has elected to retire. We've learned for many years that the scale of running one top fuel dragster, to add one maybe is beneficial, since your opportunity costs of going over the road aren't that much more. What lies ahead for AB Motorsports, both in the short term and in the long term?
Man, right now we're just branching out. We're working hard as we can, and we want to develop and we want to grow the team. But to grow the team, it takes partnership, of course. So we've been working full time on finding new partnerships and getting creative on that end of tying B2B business together. That's how our big deals with Hankstafers is right now. We work with Hankstafers a lot and tying them in with other companies, and we're forming and building the team bigger, where Hankstafers is going to be the primary sponsor in A Fuel this next year for Angel. And then we're just going to keep building that program up to where we could take it. Hopefully we could take it to Top Fuel and to develop that program and then pave the way for my son coming up, Anson. My daughter Ariana has shown a lot of energy of racing also too. So we're going to start her in the sportsman ranks with super comp and stuff of that nature. And we're going to grow it. And we have other drivers like Corey Mahalik, who is going to be a teammate of Angel's this year in A Fuel. So we're going to have 2 A Fuel cars out there. He's trying to put together we could race a full-time race program, but he's going to be out there for several racer, and he's a heck of a talent too. Really, really quick on a tree, great spokesperson, a very dynamic guy. And we have other people out there like Grace out there, and Grace Rowe, who actually is another sportsman racer who's underneath the umbrella, who's racing really good. And we have a couple other people in the quarter midgets, the Brooks family out there, Cash and Macy out in Northern California, and they're tearing it up racing quarter midgets. So our whole focus out there is to grow the sport and to grow and cultivate new drivers and just try to help them achieve. And that's what our Accelerate program is all about here at AB Motorsports. It's not a driver development program. That's one of the facets that we do, but it's just an overall team development program where we help people develop their teams. We help them with the tools they need to be successful, to go out and chase and get partnerships. And once they get them, we have the tools to help them maintain them. That's the whole key, is not just getting a partnership, but how do you keep it going and grow it? And that's where our whole focus is to help grow every facet of motorsports. And as long as we got the people that have the want to, the determination and the desire, and they have to have the work ethic to make it happen, we're here to help them cultivate and make themselves better.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So next year, the official season start for the National Hot Rod Association is the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals, March 6, 7, 8, 9. But you guys are going to start a month early at the Pro Superstar Shootout in Bradenton, Florida, which is very interesting because that is an event that is put on by the professional racer organization, Pro, that you're a member of. And it's put on by the racers, which I think is super cool. Talk a little bit about that leading into the start of NHRA 2025.
Oh man, I tell you, I always get excited about that when we go to that Pro Shootout race. That Pro Shootout race is like kind of like a cavalcade. It's like the all-star race starting the season off where we're just drumming up and say, hey, we're coming. And it's a full week of us testing. 3 days of us testing, and we go into a race for the fans down there in Southern Florida and engage them to give them a taste of what the Gator Nationals is going to have. You know what I mean? So that's the whole build up for. It's like the beginning of baseball season where they always have the big all-star game in the warm-ups to go into the league when it starts. It gets everybody's juices flowing to see what's happening. And it's a great little track down there, Bradenton, Florida, where Victor and all them guys down there do a great job, and they have a nice facility, and it's the premier spot to be that time of the year. It's cold everywhere else, so the sun is shining, and we get to bring up some of the Southern Floridas down there from Miami to come check us out because that's one of the closest facilities to them. And then while they're up there, we say, hey, well, while you're up here, all you got to do is go a few more hours up the road and catch us at Gainesville in about another 3 or 4 weeks. So that's what it all boils down to. And that's what we love doing, is bringing our action to another section of the world and showing them what we're all about, but doing it in a true all-star format like we do.
I love it. And I see Francisque and Judy are on. One final question for you. You're going to be driving a pro modified car. And I think it's super exciting that, you are not just going to sit on the shelf during the winter break and work on books and next year's Top Fuel. But the word grassroots racer has been thrown out there hundreds of times today. And that's a perfect example, right? You can't sit tight for this winter break. You're going to be in a pro mod car, a suspended car that makes 4,000 horsepower. They're wild, wicked beasts, and you want some of that. Tell us.
Well, I always loved the series. I got down there and dabble a little bit with the Pro 275 down there in series, but now Drag Illustrated has a winter series, a 3-race series at Bradenton, one in coming up this next weekend before PRI, and then we go back in January, towards the end of January, go back at the end of February. So I'm really excited about it, because when I get to go race there, it helps keeps my skills sharp and hone it, and it's with other racers. And there's some mean racers out there, brother. So Top Fuel is mean, but I love going pro mod because you get to see a little action. Like Erica Enders is going to be out there. You're going to have Stevie Fast out there, Lyle Barnett, Melanie, Salimi. You're going to have Preston Tanner. You're going to have all these great pro mod guys out there and gals. And it's going to be a lot of fun, brother. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm just excited to be a part of it, man. And go out there and see what we can do.
Antron, thank you so much. Appreciate it. You got to represent for the Top Fuel guys against those pro mod guys. They're going to be gunning for you.
Oh, I already know it, Joe. They're already talking some junk. They're always talking some static. But I'm going to go down there and have some fun. I'm just going to let them know that we could play too.
There you go. AB, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Antron.
EPARTRADE is a digital platform that we've created basically to make life easier in the business community of auto racing.
EPARTRADE, there is no e-commerce. It's literally a connection just like at a trade show. So now, any time of the year, a buyer could reach out to a supplier.
When you see a product that you're interested in, all you need to do is click on request more information, and then from there it is forwarded directly to the buyer or to the supplier.
EPARTRADE really eliminates having to travel, closing down your shop. Now you have a place to showcase globally your racing product and technology.
Looking for a quick fix of motorsports news? The Speed Sport Daily is what you need. It's a free racing newsletter delivered directly to your email every day. We'll cover the winners and the losers and tell you who's making news off the track. It's NASCAR, NHRA, World of Outlaw, IndyCar, and so much more. Go to speedsport.com today and get signed up for America's free racing newsletter and get your daily motorsports fix. The Speed Sport Daily.
Land speed record holder George Poteet's Speed Demon rocketed 481 miles per hour at the Bonneville Salt Flats. You don't go that fast without ARP fasteners.
There is no way that we could go the speed that we've gone, the number of times we've gone, with a lesser quality bolt than ARP supplies to us. And we absolutely wouldn't be where we were today if it weren't for ARP.
When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com.
We're Performance Plus Global Logistics. Our team of dedicated performance industry and logistics experts get valuable cars and components to the track on time in top condition. We provide expedited logistics solutions for the performance industry using direct routes instead of deferred options, and communicate all necessary information to the appropriate resources to meet regulations and ensure a smooth transit and secure delivery, both domestically and internationally. And we exceed customer expectations by providing best-in-class service with an efficient and cost-effective system in place. Contact us today to book your next shipment.
Scott Lewis & Associates, the sales, marketing, and branding specialist for the automotive performance industry since 1988. We get our manufacturers on track by opening an extensive distribution network, providing product training to sales staff, creating fully integrated sales and marketing strategies, building successful industry partnerships, attending trade shows, events, and races, offering first-class support to customers. SLAI delivers solutions that win you sales. To get in touch with an SLAI representative, call 516-378-6100. Go to scottlewisinc.com or email info@scottlewisinc.com.
With roots in the Midwest that date back well before the Model T, Fifth Third Bank has a long history of serving the needs of automotive companies. While much has changed over the years, our passion for helping businesses put cars on the road and on the track has not. Today, we are more committed than ever as a member of SEMA, a founding member of PRI, and a sponsor of multiple race teams across several racing series.
For over a decade, Fifth Third Bank has been a staunch supporter of our industry and a great partner for many companies in the motorsports field.
Our business has been growing extremely fast, and really we could not be where we are today without Fifth Third. They provided amazing strategic advice, the capital we need to support our phases of growth.
They are true partners for me now, and what they do with their involvement in motorsports is untouched in this community.
Where can we take your business? Fifth Third Bank.
You work as hard as your truck, and you have no time for downtime. That's why more truck owners trust Blue Def, America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid brand. Each batch is guaranteed pure, so you can avoid costly repairs caused by inferior DEF. Demand America's best for your truck with Blue Def and Blue Def Platinum. Put trust in your truck.
When it comes to pushing the limits of performance, the pros know there's no room for compromise. At Crower Cams, we don't just engineer camshafts and valve train components, we redefine what power means. Since 1955, Crower Cams has been the name trusted by racers, engine builders, and gearheads around the globe. Whether you're building a street machine, a dragster, or a track car, Crower Cams provides the muscle you need to dominate. And with Crower, victory is within your reach.
For over 25 years, Wisconsin-based C-Tech Manufacturing has been engineering and manufacturing the toughest, most accessible aluminum tool drawers, cabinets, carts, and tactical storage solutions for America's hardest working professionals. Whatever you need to store and however you need to store it, put your trust in C-Tech Manufacturing. We build it better. Visit our new website at ctechmanufacturing.com or give us a call at 715-355-8842.
If you're watching this video, you might be wondering, what is WPC? WPC is a surface treatment designed to reduce friction and increase the strength of metal parts. As much as it might seem like a coating, WPC is actually a surface treatment. Think of it like shot painting, but the media is much finer, like talc. So what you're left with is a super hard, smooth surface that actually has some proprietary dry lubricants embedded within it. For more information, visit WPCtreatment.com.